The race to super smart AI isn't won by pumping out ever bigger language models. It's by linking together intelligent systems using software development practices that actually work together. The giants pouring billions of dollars into massive AI could be overlooking the simple truth that real intelligence emerges from connections, not just size. So as someone who's built software for over 25 years, I've watched tech trends rise and fall, and this one has me asking, are we chasing the wrong goal entirely? And everyone's racing to build bigger language models, burning billions, chasing the wrong finish line. The entire AI industry is trying to solve the wrong problem. The path to AGI isn't through brute force computing. It's through something Silicon Valley hates, actual engineering. See, they want to have something flashy and amazing and new. But with MIT just proving that 95% of corporate AI projects failing, it's not the reason you think. Today I'm going to expose why these 95% of the projects really failed, and we're going to why throwing just more parameters at the problem isn't going to solve it. Let's dive into this today. Welcome to Startup Hack. I'm Spencer, and here at Startup Hack, we love to build software developers as well as train software developers as well as build custom software solutions for companies. With a decade of executive leadership as a fractional CTO and 25 years in software development, I've mastered transforming tech teams and products. So the biggest players in AI are betting everything on one strategy. They're just trying to go bigger, and I think they're wrong. We're going to circle back to one of the big questions. If AGI isn't about scaling up one massive model, instead, I think it's about engineering a web of specialized tools that actually work together seamlessly. So why are so many companies stuck in the bigger is better trap? Now, I want you to drop a comment down below with your take on all of this, because I love to chat with you guys in the comments, and I love to answer all of these. So I definitely love to hear from you, so make sure you comment down below. So one of the things is we're seeing OpenAI, Google, and others keep bragging about parameter count like it's 1999 and like we're measuring processor speeds. GPT-3 had 175 billion parameters, GPT-4 supposedly 1.7, but the actual intelligence leap, right, like GPT-5 wasn't that much better, even though it required 100x more training. The improvements you're seeing aren't from the model size. They're from the scaffolding built around them and the systems they're connected to. So RAG system, function calling, chain of thought prompting, these are actually the real heroes. It's like thinking a bigger engine in your car is automatically going to make your car better, but that's ignoring the transmission, the steering, and the brakes. So we've hit a point of diminishing return on raw model size, and companies know it, but they don't want to admit it. So ChatGPT didn't revolutionize AI because ChatGPT 3.5 was monumentally better than ChatGPT 3. The breakthrough was really the scaling of RAG and the transformer architecture to millions of users simultaneously. They built the pipelines, the infrastructure, the ability to handle concurrent sessions at unprecedented scale. So the model itself, it actually just got incrementally better each time. The system around it is what was revolutionary. So this is system engineering, not AI magic. And it's what I've been preaching for over a decade as a fractional CTO. Now, real innovation happens at the intersection of multiple technologies, not just isolation. Now, again, reminder, please throw a comment down below because it's my favorite thing. Now, Claude isn't winning because Anthropic has fundamentally better language models. Their language models are good. Don't get me wrong. I know everybody's going to start yelling at me and throwing things at me now. Luckily, I'm here by myself, but you know what I mean. But Anthropic is winning because they built superior safety systems, better context windows, and smart interaction tools. Claude Code and other things are things that are making them ahead of the game because they have better tooling. Constitutional AI, harmlessness training, interpretability research, these aren't model improvements, they're system improvements. Their competitive advantage isn't the core LLM, it's in the wrappers, the guardrails, and the user experience layer. They understood early that raw capability without controls is useless in a production environment. So while others are chasing benchmarks, Anthropic chases real-world usability, and that's why engineers generally choose Claude and Claude Code over all the other tools. Now, Gemini isn't special because of its multimodal capabilities or parameter count. Google wins because they sit on the largest, most diverse data set humanity has ever assembled. YouTube transcripts, Google conversations, search queries, map data, Chrome browsing patterns. The list is endless. They have more software engineers than some countries have college graduates. Their core engineering culture means they can build infrastructure others can only dream about. So when AGI does arrive, and that's up to anybody's best guess, but I promise it's not going to be this year, It will need massive, diverse data, and Google already is really the king, sitting on the throne of that. Now, Elon's XAI isn't just another LLM company trying to catch up to OpenAI. They're sitting on nearly 2 decades of Twitter or X data, real human conversations, reactions, arguments, memes, etc., right? Social media data captures human behavior patterns that sanitized training sets miss entirely. So Grok's edge isn't the model architecture, it's understanding human communication in its raw, unfiltered form. And who has more than all the back databases of Twitter, right? And I'm calling it Twitter because it was Twitter, right? Now I understand it's X, but this contextual understanding of human interaction patterns is crucial for AGI. Building on top of X's infrastructure gives them distribution and feedback loops others have to build totally from scratch. Now, if you have systems that need to be built from scratch, or you have systems that are just separate and not connected, reach out to us because our specialty is connecting systems so that your company can work like a well-oiled machine. Now, I'm going to jump over to a couple of stories here really quick, right? So this was back on August 20th, right? And it says skeptics have to rally will be proved again, right? We're still in the early days of the AI revolution. The use cases are just starting to massively expand as more companies recognize the value creation being driven by a handful of tech companies led by the godfather of AI, Jensen and NVIDIA. So NVIDIA reported their earnings, and they showed that they're still strong, and they are estimating that they're going to have $4 trillion worth of revenue over the next coming years. But we see that we're still just at the beginning, and anybody who thinks we're toward the end of this is wrong. There's a lot that's going to happen. Now, do I think the bubbles burst? Yes, I think the financials of these companies are overhyped. It's going to be really interesting to see NVIDIA though, because they are still going to be selling the shovels. And I don't think the gold rush is going away. Now, let's talk about this next one here. Adding AI to your company's name was a blessing. Right now, it's a curse. So earlier this week, we saw the stock market start to get skittish over this MIT report that I'm about to dig into a little bit more, right? Because MIT reported that over 95% of projects aren't making it to production. Now, the thing about it is that NVIDIA is laughing all the way on this because all those 95% still had to pay for their cards. So whether it's coming to production or not, and whether these are using high token count or not, they still are paying for NVIDIA for training and all the development. So when there's a nascent pullback in everything AI, that means you stick out like a sore thumb, right? So it's showing what's happened to some of these companies that are all AI only companies over the last, over last week, right? Now, this is the article that I really wanted to kind of talk about a little bit today. But before I dive a ton into the article, I want to talk a little bit more about the MIT study, right? Because there was the MIT's recent study that exposed that 95% of corporate AI pilots are failing spectacularly. But here's what everybody missed about it. Everybody immediately says, oh, see, AI is failing. They're missing kind of the point here. Is it saying AI is failing? Yes. But it's not actually the AI that's failing, right? The failures aren't the technology failures. These LLMs are impressive. However, the problem is everybody's using them wrong and they're expecting the wrong things out of them. See, they're not integrating them right. They're just taking these and expecting that they're going to solve all their problems. So when I hear somebody like Satya Nadella from Microsoft say this is going to replace all of SaaS, I just laugh. Because do you know how much of software today is built on top of SaaS? Do you know how far LLMs are from replacing SaaS? They're a long ways. Now, LLMs are powerful technologies, but they are far from replacing your garden variety, small to medium business, SaaS products that are being built and sold here. I recently was looking at a company the other day who is using over 30, there's a small company too, they're not that big, that's using over 30 different SaaS products, and they have less than a headcount of 20 people. Like, everybody saying that AI is going to replace SaaS is totally missing the point. Companies are trying to shove AI into existing workflows without rebuilding the surrounding systems, or their data isn't ready and they're still trying to shove AI into the midst of it. Back office automation using AI is already trying to go into, it's already a $2 to $10 million annual savings when it's done right. So the successful 5% aren't using better AI, they're using better system thinking. So I'm going to say this a little different. Everybody's focused on the 95% of the failures, but let's look at the 5% that are winning. Why are they winning? Because they're using AI to integrate systems. If you've been listening to my channel for a long time, here at Startup Hack, we love to integrate systems for companies because that's our specialty. Is we come into almost every company I find has disconnected systems, and people are doing what I call swivel chair data, processing, right? So they're working on this system and then they manually transfer the data over to this system. They're not connecting these systems. The ones that are winning, those 5% that are successful, are the ones that are using AI to link these systems, right? And that's where AI is really good, this pattern matching that it has, the ability to look at a system, look at the system and match the data. Now you've got to put guardrails around it, you've got to have safety. Most of our systems are having to do 2 to 3 levels of checks, but it's still saving time. So every AI breakthrough you're seeing is actually multiple systems working together. ChatGPT uses separate models for understanding, generation, and moderating and embedding. These aren't unified systems. They're collections of specialized tools pretending to be one thing, right? True AGI won't emerge from making one component bigger. It'll emerge from orchestrating thousands of specialized systems. So think of the human brain. It's not one giant neural network. It's specialized regions working in concert, right? You have different parts that are working on your subconscious as well as your frontal lobe, right? Everything works differently in your brain. So we're building AI backwards because we're trying to create general intelligence from one single model. Now, again, if you have systems in your company that aren't connected, reach out to us, because here at Startup Hack, our specialty is connecting these systems so your company can work to maximum efficiency. Now, executives are demanding AI features without understanding the problem that they need to solve. So I've sat in boardrooms where CEOs literally just said, just add AI to it, like it's hot sauce or something. But MIT found that over 50% of AI budget is going to sales and marketing, but the real ROI is in operations. Companies adding AI to their name saw initial stock bump, but now they're seeing corrections. Does this sound familiar? It's like the .com, right? So according to the data from a lot of different reports, this naming is already backfiring. So if you just slapped an AI on top of you and you don't have a real differentiator, it actually could backfire on you. The market is waking up to the difference between AI washed products and real AI value. Now, AGI won't be one massive model. It'll be thousands of specialized models working together. So think of microservices, not a monolith. Now, I'm not saying microservices are winning. I'm just saying think of that idea. Every software architecture learned this lesson already. Each model handles specific tasks: vision, language, reasoning, memory, planning, execution. But not only that, these models actually will specialize between finance. You'll get a specialized medical model. You'll get and then each of these will be specialized to learn one specific thing. So for each of my clients that I'm working with right now, we are specializing on the AI for their specific need, not just immediately grab an open AI and slap it in the latest API for them. So the coordination layer between these models is where the real intelligence is going to emerge. Google's mixture of experts approach is this hint to me, right? They're not thinking, but I think they are really focusing on this. So we just recently saw Google release the Nano Banana for the image processing, right? And that's again another example of where they're specializing a model to do the image processing and then working it into a larger system. So again, I've talked about it before. I think with Google's data, I think with their years of history on DeepMind, I think they're going to come out the winner. I think Google's going to be one of the winners. I think there's going to be a handful of winners because I think we're going to continue to see things specialize. Now, training GPT-4 cost over $100 million just to compute, not counting human resources or anything else. Each generation costs 10 times more for marginal improvements, and that is totally unsustainable. The power consumption on these models is reaching small city levels. Meanwhile, connected smaller models can achieve similar results at a fraction of the cost. Because I'm running things on DIY servers that we've built for companies, and these then are beating out some of the bigger projects. The future isn't bigger models, it's smarter orchestration of efficient models. Now, I want to jump over to this article here and kind of talk a little bit about this. So this is part of what got me thinking here. AGI is engineering problems, right? So we've reached an inflection point of AI development. The scaling laws that once promised ever more capable models are showing diminishing returns. GPT-5, Claude, and Gemini represent remarkable achievements, but they're hitting asymptote that brute force scaling can't solve. The path to artificial general intelligence isn't through training ever larger models. It's through building engineering systems that combine models, memory, context, and deterministic workflows. Now, I want to drive down into this one part that he talks about here. So that brings us to the core insight. Building AGI is a distributed system problem, not machine learning problem. We've been fooled into thinking that because data center scaling, training clusters are distributed systems, we're already doing system engineering. Nothing could be further from the truth. And he goes through talking about some of the stuff that we're going to have to do. But that's kind of what I'm talking about here today, folks, right? So on NVIDIA's earnings call, Jensen Huang was really playing up deep thinking and chain of thought and some of these things. Well, of course he is, because that requires more NVIDIA processors. But instead, if you take a few NVIDIA processors, get each of them specialized to perform one specific problem, then you can actually chain those together, not chain of thought, but actually chain those together in a way that you can verify each step. And that can build out a very specific problem-solving problem, right? So while big companies chase size, open source is evolving quickly. LangChain, AutoGPT, Baby AGI, there's tons of them. There's a reason that Hugging Faces is exploding in popularity right now. The real innovation is happening in orchestration layers, not model training. Small teams are building agent systems that outperform massive models on specific tasks. Again, they're not trying to solve everything. They're not boiling the ocean. They're just trying to solve like one problem. So this isn't Linux versus Windows battle all over again. This is Linux versus Windows, and we know how that played out. The future of AGI is open, distributed, and connected, not closed and monolithic. So after 25 years in software development, I've learned that every breakthrough comes from integration, not from isolation. We don't chase trends. We build solutions using proven engineering principles. So far too many companies right now are running around with this hammer called AI, thinking everything is a nail to be smacked on its head, right? And instead, sometimes they need to be picking up a saw. Sometimes they need to be a measuring tape. Sometimes there are a lot of different tools in their tool belt. Machine learning, LLM, data analytics. These are all tools in our toolbox, not a silver bullet. Real AGI is going to emerge from companies that understand system thinking, not parameter counts. And ultimately, I don't think AGI itself is actually going to exist. I think we're going to find specialized things that are really good in a category. So the 95% failure rate talked about by the MIT report exists because people are using hammers for everything. And instead, they need to actually figure out how to use real engineering principles, real software development practices, and use this new amazing tool of LLMs. So I get accused a lot of times of people saying I'm an AI hater. I'm not. I'm an AI hype hater, and I'm an AI realist. I'm using AI, LLMs, machine learning in my day-to-day software development. Our teams are building these for clients successfully. We're building the connective tissue that will actually enable intelligent systems. So we're not going to get to AGI by simply making larger LLMs. LLMs have not improved that much since ChatGPT 3. Everyone's going to come at me now and be like, oh, they've been exponentially better. No, the tools and the frameworks around them have better. The connectivity is better. Anthropic is amazing not because their LLMs are the best. They're the best because they build tools around them. Gemini is winning because they have the backing of Google's powerful and ever-growing data pool. These are just some of the examples here. The power of XAI is not just because they have the best models or because they've bought 1 million training. They have almost 2 decades of data from Twitter and X.com that they're not letting anyone else into. AGI is not just reached by building the biggest LLM. AGI, as we think of it, is going to grow from a series of connections. Now, when we take these years of experience and put them in correctly using machine learning, LLM, and core engineering practices rooted in good engineering practices and centered in data analytics, we drive to real solutions that will make companies better. That's those 5% that are winning in the MIT report. So we don't walk around with a hammer and think everything's a nail. We use all of the tools in our tool belt and build an economic way to build real solutions for our clients. That's what we do here at Startup Pack. So we recently have seen the MIT study showing that 95% of AI projects fail to reach production. This is because people are trying to force AI to fit every single problem. Executives are demanding AI solutions even when it doesn't make sense. Bigger isn't better. Building real pipelines that can specialize at a particular task is what we need to do in order to make things more powerful. So what are your thoughts? I love to hear your guys's and have discussion with you. Here at Startup Pack, we love to train software developers as well as build custom software solutions for companies. So check out startuppack.com/Spencer and here's some great information about our service. Hi, I'm Spencer, a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and 25 years in software development, I've transformed technology teams and products for businesses just like yours. As your fractional CTO, you get the strategic guidance of a seasoned technology executive without the full-time commitment. Perfect for companies ready to leverage cutting-edge technology without expanding headcount. My team at Startup Hack has already built advanced AI agents for small and medium businesses, automating complex workflows and delivering advanced ROI to human workflows. We specialize in creating custom software that connects your systems into a single coherent technology ecosystem. Our development approach focuses on tangible business outcomes. For one client, we developed AI-powered workflows that cut days off of human processes. For another company, by connecting multiple systems, we reduced processing time to increase their ROI by over 75%. We don't just write code, we architect solutions that scale. Whether you need cloud system architecture, data integration between legacy systems, or custom AI agents that automate your unique business processes, my team delivers results that exceed your expectations. Having led technology for a lot of companies and launched 7 successful brands of my own, I bring battle-tested expertise to your business challenges. Our specialty is turning technological complexity into business advantage. So if you're ready to harness the power of AI and custom software to drive your business forward, let's connect. Together, we'll build technology that doesn't just solve today's problems, it positions you for tomorrow's opportunities. Technology leadership, decades of experience, AI powered. Reach out today and we can help you. Check out startuppack.com/Spencer.